Welcome to Fringe Pop 321, the show that believes the world is stranger than we think, but thinking should not be strange. Do you remember seeing Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? I know it's painful, but I bring it up for a reason. In addition to taking advantage of people like me who liked the Indiana Jones franchise, the movie took advantage of the fascination many people have with crystal skulls, like this one. Good boy. Made from quartz crystal, paranormal enthusiasts often claim crystal skulls have special powers or are evidence of ancient alien technology. The claim goes something like this, that these skulls are ancient, pre-Columbian, and couldn't possibly be made by ancient people. So according to Giorgio Lucas, it must be aliens. See what I did there? Well, I can confirm one of those assumptions. Ancient people could not have made these skulls. But that doesn't mean the technology is alien. It's actually well known. As we'll see today on this episode, it would have been easier to prove aliens made these skulls than to prove the movie wasn't awful. Crystal skulls began appearing in Europe as presumed pre-Columbian artifacts during the second half of the 19th century. Archaeologists doubted almost immediately that they were truly pre-Columbian, but did not have the technological tools to evaluate how the skulls were exactly made. Among the reasons for suspicion are the fact that none of the skulls could be provenanced. In other words, there was no record of their actual excavation from any site. As one scholar noted, quote, "No quartz skulls have to date been retrieved from well-documented official archaeological excavations," unquote. All of the crystal skulls that are known really were obtained from 19th century antiquities dealers. They are unprovenanced archaeologically. Another thing that created suspicion was that they were too perfect in detail, especially the uniformity of all the teeth. Known authentic hand-created pre-Columbian items whose provenance and discovery was known had nowhere near the precision found on the crystal skulls. A good illustration of the teeth being too perfect is this example from the British Museum. Now, the point we're trying to make here is that each tooth is perfectly uniform. Each one is like the other. Each line is perfectly precise. This is not pre-Columbian handwork. Therefore, it's not ancient. To do this kind of work, you have to have power tools, and archaeologists knew it. Lastly, we know that pre-Columbians created objects using hand tools and not wheels because of contemporary histories that have illustrations in them of the process, like the famous Florentine Codex from the early Columbian period, roughly 1540 to 1585. Eventually, the technology came along to test the crystal skulls and their manufacture. They have, in fact, been subjected to close scrutiny using a variety of technologies, including scanning electron microscopy and geochemical analysis. The verdict has been unanimous in regard to every known specimen. They are fakes, created during the 19th century or thereafter. They have no special powers. They were not created with alien technology. Now, there are a number of examples of the imperfections of the skulls and other things that point to modern manufacture that you can find on the Fringe Pop 321 website. But for our purposes here, let me just cite one example. In a series of tests conducted by Margaret Sachs and a few other scholars on two allegedly pre-Columbian crystal skulls housed at the British Museum and the Smithsonian, when compared with known provenanced crystal artifacts from Mesoamerica, those researchers discerned several things. First, the known objects were not created with spinning wheel technology. Now think pottery here, where a potter would sort of kick a wheel and develop a certain speed and then create and fashion pottery. These objects were not created with spinning wheel technology. And that was evident because the cuts in the crystal showed evidence of hand cutting. There were imperfections that would be expected from handwork. Every cut will naturally not be the same. We can see etching and cutting irregularities using electron microscopy. The skulls, on the other hand, show evidence of being created with rotary wheels of the type known from the 19th century. Now, many viewers will not realize that rotary wheel technology powered by steam or water or electricity came into use during the 19th century, the same period as the skulls started appearing. Second, geochemical analysis on the British Museum skull proved that it was created with hard abrasives such as corundum or diamond. X-ray diffraction testing revealed traces of carborundum, a hard, modern synthetic abrasive on the Smithsonian skull. Thirdly, the quartz used came from Brazil or Madagascar, areas far outside pre-Columbian trade routes. Now, those examples are just from one study. There again are a lot of other studies you can access via the Fringe Pop 321 website. Skulls of the 19th century manufacture using well-known tools of that period are what we have when we're looking at a crystal skull. Archaeologists at the time just couldn't determine all of that with the naked eye when they started appearing in the 19th century. Now, if the crystal skulls are not ancient but of modern manufacture, who made them? While a precise answer to this is ultimately unknowable, scholars have a pretty good idea of who was responsible for the artifacts reaching the market. A number of the crystal skulls can easily be traced to a French artifacts dealer named Eugène Bobon. The study by Sachs and other scholars that we've cited previously reveals that a lot is known about Bobon. He lived in Mexico City from 1850 to 1869, and he advertised himself as Emperor Maximilian's antiquarian. In 1865, he became a member of the French Scientific Commission, and in that position, he collected somewhere near 2,000 pre-Columbian artifacts. The French Scientific Commission held an exhibit in Paris in 1867, and 2 crystal skulls were listed in its catalog. Later, in 1885, Bobon and a partner tried to sell one of those skulls as an ancient Mexican artifact to the Museo Nacional de Mexico. The carving was not considered to be ancient and was therefore rejected. This led to Bobon's denouncement by Mexican authorities. Now, what we have by way of summary and conclusion in the crystal skulls is that we have objects that are of modern manufacture, late 19th century, early 20th century, with technology that was well known to that period. They are not of ancient origin. They were not created with ancient methods of creating crystal artifacts that are known and provenanced in the archaeological community. And I know that might be sad. It might be sad to say that the crystal skulls have a very clear explanation. But on the other hand, the search for George Lucas's creativity is still ongoing. Thanks for watching Fringe Pop 321. Please visit our companion website for research material, not only for this episode, but for all of our episodes. And if you want to support what we're doing at Fringe Pop 321, go to fp321.com/S, as in the letter S, and come back and watch more episodes, because what you know may not be so.